topic. Our topic for today is the fast solution to weight loss.
Right,
okay?
right. And first of all, let's not take it for granted. Introduction.
Yes.
I am Mike Jones.
And I'm Cheryl Jones.
And we are personal trainers, nutritionists, and fitness coaches.
Yeah.
Right? And we are creators of the Rhythm Rumble workout, as well as, just all around fitness.
And also, just to let people know, this is an interactive format, right? So what we do is, even though we'll be giving information, we still welcome everybody to chime in, ask questions. You know, it's not the kind of thing where you have to just ask questions at the end. It's not like that, right? Let's go ahead and get started. Like Michael and I always do, we don't like to take things for granted. We know how words and terminologies are always being flung around to the point where they become so, overused that we take them for granted, right?
Yes.
So we want to start off with talking about what a fast is,
right,
and what does that mean to fast.
Right.
So Michael, it sounds like a very elementary question, which is good because I like elementary. What is a fast? Like, what does that mean?
Well, a fast, in terms of a metabolic fast, which means where we're referring to food and nutrients, it just means abstaining from foods and any type of caloric drink for a specified period of time.
Right.
So it's just going without. Now, in terms of fasting in the in general, or the totality of the word, you can fast from anything, right?
Right.
You can fast from watching TV. You can fast from social media. You can fast from a specified food or an activity. Or, fasting can be physically, mentally, or emotionally. There's all different types of ways of fasting.
And just really interesting, we were speaking to a friend of ours recently who said that they went to a way to some place where they were actually doing a speaking fast.
Yeah.
So they couldn't speak for like 10 days.
Right.
And that's kind of
Yeah. And that's probably hard. It's probably a lot harder than it sounds because I'm sure you get the urge to talk.
Right.
But,
so you can fast for anything.
Yeah, you can fast from anything.
So some of the reasons for fasting would be.
Yeah. So in terms of what we're discussing, which is a metabolic fast and abstaining from food and caloric drinks, people do it for all different types of reasons. Traditionally, religious or spiritual reasons has been the main reason for fasting. However, nowadays people do it for weight loss, for health, or for breaking an addiction, or for a number of reasons such as those. Your discipline, or just maintaining discipline, or building discipline.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a number of things that people use fasting for nowadays.
So the different types of fasts. Let's talk about all the different types of fasts.
Different types of fast in terms of what we talked about, metabolic fast you're speaking of?
No, one of the different kinds of fast. But before we do that, is there anybody who has anyone ever, well, I know most people here have done a fast. But is there anyone, I don't want to take anything for granted. Yeah. Is there anyone who has never fasted before? Like right now we're talking about, again, in case we didn't make it clear, we're talking about a metabolic fast. That means abstaining from either any kind of food, drink,
or caloric drinks.
Caloric drinks. That's what we're talking about.
Soda.
So anyone has never done a metabolic fast. So I can't see what that is.
No, it's right there.
Yeah. I thought something else came up.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone has fasted in some way or another.
Yeah. Most people have
done some kind of fast. Okay. So the question I'm asking you, there's different types of fasts, right? So we have a juice fast.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There are different types of fasts.
Right.
What are the different types of fasts?
Yeah, that's kind of in terms of people do complete fast. Like traditionally, people do like the long-term complete fast, the 24-hour, 1, 2, 3 day or longer fast, where they they just drink water, which typically referred to as a water fast. People do juice fast, where they just drink veggie and fruit juices. People do intermittent fasting, which is what we're
going to talk about
today.
Talk
about more in depth.
So thank you for sharing. So Margaret, and hi Margaret, I didn't even know you were on, but hi Margaret. Margaret says she has never done a fast before.
Okay.
And so thank you for sharing that, because you'll find this to be really, really informative. Dr. Jean has done an intermittent fast before. So Patricia says, how long is the average fast for metabolic? So we're actually going to touch on that. So hold tight, Pat, because that's actually going to be incorporated in what it is that we're talking about. But so whether you've done a fast or not, or whether you have never done a fast before, the fasting is really, really important. And it's even, a lot of people think about it for weight loss, but it has so many other benefits. So what we want to start off doing is just kind of talking about the benefits of fasting, some things you may know, some things you may not know, and then we're going to go really delve into the type of fast that we're going to be talking and doing today, and the challenge that we're going to have for today. So let's get started. Let's get into the meat of it, Mike Jones. We're talking about the benefits of fasting. One of the first benefits of fasting is that it actually regenerates and restores you on the body on a cellular level. So it's good for that. Michael, can you elaborate on that?
Yes, just as we do when our body does when we rest at night, when we sleep. Fasting also puts the body in that, quote unquote, rested state, where it's allowed to perform the regenerative functions, such as building new cells, building new tissues, and all of the things that it normally doesn't get to do as proficiently, because it's constantly in a work mode in terms of digestion and doing other things. So fasting allows for that process to take place more often and longer, just as when you were sleeping, those regenerative functions can happen. And that equates to, of course, the cell regeneration specifically, and whether we know it or not, cellular health is the foundation of your health overall, and just where life exists. And I say that because your cellular health dictates everything.
Let me just jump in here for a second. I just wanted to share something, because Mike shared something with me. Mike and I talk about health all the time. So sometimes, he says things and it really gives me a good visual I want to share. So I remember one of our previous conversations over the years, we talked about cellular death. And how, just imagine in your body, your cells are always kind of dying off and being reborn again. So it's almost like think about if you never clean your house, and what piles up. So there's these carcasses that, and I'm putting it, he didn't quite put it this way, but I'm putting it, this is how my imagination is going. So it's almost like all of these carcasses are just in your body. You have to sweep, doing a sweep.
Carcasses, it's your New York accent.
I'm a New Yorker, and a proud New Yorker. Hello, can I hear from my New Yorkers?
Caucasus.
Can I get some backup from my New Yorkers?
But I got you.
But you have to clean. So basically, when we fast, it's like the ability to get a house cleaning. Cellular house cleaning.
Perfect.
If that makes any sense.
Now, very good point. You're learning, Grasshopper. But the process is called autophagy. And those who are into health and fitness may have heard of it. It's autophagy. It's basically your cells cleaning up the dead cellular tissues or the dead cells that exist. Now, the significance of that is those dead cells or those mutated cells are the cells that can that can potentially form into tumors or cancer,
Right.
and create other chronic illnesses in the body. So the more house cleaning, quote unquote, your cell
Right.
does, the healthier it is for your body on the cellular level, and ultimately, your organs and tissues are healthier due to that process as well.
Very good. Okay. All right. So, capiche? We clear on that? Number
Yes.
one?
Yes.
All right. So, if you have any questions, again, jump in. But number
Yes.
one reason for and benefit for fasting is
Yes.
cellular health.
Regenerative
Okay?
and restorative benefits.
Yeah, getting the cellular house cleaning,
Yes.
so that our body can focus
Yes.
on other things that
And
it needs to do.
creating new, healthier cells.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So hopefully that's clear. Okay. Number two, which
Yes.
is one that we're always familiar with, and that is weight loss. Right.
Yes.
So weight loss would be another reason for us.
Right.
And it kind of resets and boosts your metabolism. That's what fasting does.
Yes.
So just kind of let's take a little deep dive into that and explain what's really happening when they do that.
Definitely weight loss is a benefit because ultimately, if you're fasting, whether it's a traditional fast or an intermittent fasting program, you're gonna take in less calories, right? And less calories is going to put you at a calorie deficit, which will force your body to go in its reserves, which are the fat storages.
Gotcha.
So less calories going into the fat reserves means weight loss.
Right.
So it's definitely going to have that effect, no matter how you're eating, depending on how you fast. Well, let me not say no matter, because you can eat junk food and
Which we're going to get to that.
Exactly.
We're going to touch on that.
But typically, if you do it right, it's going to have the benefit of weight loss in addition to boosting the metabolism, because it does have that effect where it's going to help your body, produce more growth hormones.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Uh-huh.
Take away the food, the body's going to have to go into its
Yes.
storage, and
Yes.
that's where it stores the fat, and that's why we start to lose that weight during the fasting process.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right, number three.
Yes.
All right, number three benefit for our fasting is that it prompts the body to produce growth hormones.
Yes. Yes.
What is that about? Why is that important? Tell us what
Well,
that means.
growth hormones are the key to your health, youth, and longevity.
Right.
The problem is, as we get older, our growth hormones begin to decline, which begins to lead to the aging process as well as other aging conditions, whether it's bone and muscle loss, bone and joint stiffness, as well as decreased brain function. So growth hormones can have an effect on all these different areas. So if you get something or a process that actually increases your growth hormones, well, again, that's the key to maintaining your youth, slowing the aging process, and ultimately having a longer, healthier life.
So fasting can help promote. It's almost like an anti-aging.
Yes.
Mechanism.
Yes.
Right.
Process. Exactly. So it's good for boosting growth hormones.
I'll take it.
and slowing the aging process.
Right.
And we're going to talk about it in more as we move along. We'll give you more details
about why and how that happens.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. But that's a good one.
Yes.
That's got my interest.
Right.
All right.
Right.
Okay. So
You wanna
next
hold
one.
on?
That's right.
Okay.
Okay. So the next one. This is a really, really good one. All right. So
Yes.
another benefit for fasting, which is this one I love. So number 4, it can reduce the risk of neurodegenerative disease,
And that's
such
big.
as like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and other kind of diseases.
Yes.
Related, that are brain related. So that's a big one. But explain that, shed some light on that, and tell us how that happens.
Well, there's actually been a study done on fasting and the brain function as well as the effects and how it during the study they showed that brain improvement, because they showed that the fast actually created a process called neurogenesis, which is actually the creation of new brain cells. And this process occurred in the area of the brain called the hippocampus, and that's the area that's where those degenerative diseases mostly affect, because that's the area that's responsible for short-term and long-term memory. And so those degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's typically affect those areas. And so not only did it increase the neurogenesis, which is the spawning of new brain cells, as well as what's called neuroplasticity, where it actually makes the brain cells more flexible in their learning capacity, right?
Yes.
So able to establish new connection and new memories. Mm-hmm. So all of this was a part of the fasting process. And incidentally, the 16-hour fast, which we'll talk about and which we're going to actually do, showed the best results.
Okay, so recap. Michael can be brainy sometimes, which I love. But you threw around a lot of words, right? So
yes.
there was one that really stuck out to me, and that's the process of that fasting actually helps to kick in the process of new brain cells,
yes.
right? What is that called again?
Neurogenesis is the name. It's the name of the process. Yeah, creation. Yeah, Genesis is it's like the Bible. Genesis is the beginning.
Yes. The birth, the rebirthing of brain cells.
Right.
So I didn't know fasting could do all of that. So I was pretty excited to hear about that information. So good to know, right? All right, number 5. Anybody, if you've ever experienced inflammation or can you just let me know I'm not by myself? Can somebody just give me a thumbs up if anybody's experienced any kind of inflammation of any kind, and the pain that comes along with it, and the discomfort that comes along with it. Let me know that I am not alone, okay? Mm-hmm. Let me know that I am not alone, right? So if you have experienced that, then you will also be motivated.
Right, and I think inflammation is something that most people, probably everybody, really at some point or another has experienced inflammation. Right. And most people associate inflammation with acute inflammation. That inflammation due to injury, which they feel, or some type of ache, some type of obvious ache. Right. But chronic inflammation, you may not always feel in an acute fashion or a sharp fashion. You can have chronic inflammation ongoing, and it'll result in some things that you may not associate with inflammation. Right. Such as migraines and fatigue and those things right there. I was having a discussion with Dr. Jean, as a matter of fact, about chronic inflammation, and just talking about all of the things that chronic inflammation leads to, such as diseases like diabetes and heart disease and arthritis and age-related illnesses.
All of that is from inflammation.
All of that's from inflammation. Wow. And people don't associate it with inflammation because they may not feel it, as I said, in an acute fashion. But it could be there because our lifestyle, such as the stress and a lot of the foods we eat that are loaded with toxins and the stuff we use on our body that introduces toxins to our body can create inflammation in the body. Yes. And those things have a detrimental long-term effect.
Okay. So the last one we want to talk about is the benefit. We're still talking about the benefits of fasting, and that it lowers insulin levels.
Yes.
Right.
And just to finish off that, I'm sorry, I just thought about it. Yeah. So fasting reduces inflammation because naturally it reduces the intake of those toxins in your body because you're abstaining from food, as well as it reduces, is actually from a cellular technical standpoint, it reduces the white blood cells in your blood system, it reduces the amount of white blood cells present because those white blood cells are the inflammatory markers or inflammatory responders to the to inflammation. And so ultimately reducing the white blood cells will reduce inflammation.
Okay. So last is that it lowers insulin levels.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, that's big because insulin, high insulin levels, elevated insulin levels can ultimately, that's what ultimately leads to diabetes, because that's your body's constant response to the constant flow of glucose in your system. From constantly eating all the time and not taking a break, your body's just like any other machinery, right? If it's constantly working and constantly not getting a break, it's going to wear it out.
Right.
You know, and it, just like any other thing, is gonna eventually break down some of its components or some of its systems. So the constant introduction of glucose to the system in the form of carbohydrates, whether it's healthy carbs or especially the processed stuff, the junk food carbs and junk fats, junk protein, is constantly introducing that glucose to your system, and so your pancreas has to constantly respond with producing the insulin, and then that insulin, as your body's constantly responded, it creates what's called an insulin resistance for those cells that take in that glucose and insulin.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So it creates insulin, a insulin resistance.
Gotcha. So many benefits, right? In addition to weight loss, right?
Yes.
But so we talked earlier about and there are more benefits. We just want to go over the main ones, right? So fasting, very, very important. If you've never fasted before, hopefully you're now motivated to do it. Not just for your weight loss, but for all the other benefits as well. We talked about all the different types of fasts. The one that we've been hearing a lot of buzz about lately is intermittent fasting, right? So everybody's been hearing intermittent fasting. What is intermittent fasting, Michael, and how does that compare to, traditional fast? For those people who are not familiar with what that means.
Well, intermittent fasting versus traditional fasting, which traditional fasting typically was fasting for 24 hours or longer, going throughout the day with just water and nothing else. So intermittent fasting is a hybrid of that, which actually gives the same benefits, but is less intrusive and more practical for most people in terms of an active lifestyle. Because on a traditional fast, if you're fasting for 24 hours or longer, it's just not practical to do normal things during the day, to be active, to work out.
It's a little more challenging. We're fasters, right?
Yes.
So we try to fast, but even we've had, we try to do like towards the end of the year when we're not exercising, we have a very active lifestyle.
Yes.
So the fasting would always be like, okay, when can we do this when we're not going to be really expending a lot of energy?
Yes.
But with the intermittent fasting, we don't have to do that. We can really incorporate it as we go in our life. It's not disruptive at all. Yeah,
you get the best of both worlds because you get the benefits of fasting that we discuss without so much of the discomfort and suffering that you experience on a traditional fast, right? Yeah, I mean, it can be really uncomfortable for a lot of people. So this gives you the ability to get those benefits, but yet still be able to function in a, quote unquote, normal fashion. Versus, because truly and honestly, like if you're doing a traditional fast where you're going 24 hours or longer, it is best to be at a place or at a point where you can actually rest and be more in a meditative type state or meditation, reading, because when you do that type of fast, just know that your body is going to release a lot more toxins. The longer you go, 24 hours or more, you'll have a toxin release, and you're trying to be active with that toxin release. It's not a good thing. It doesn't. It's challenging. Not only is it challenging, but it can work against you because some people start to feel not so good. So just keep that in mind. Which the this has just a little slower, release in terms of that.
Right. So let's go ahead and move on now. So we're gonna get. So what we are doing, we're going to do, and I mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again.
Yes.
So we're getting ready to really break down intermittent fasting, the way that it's done, the way that it's done, correctly, to make sure that you get the best results.
Yes.
And then we're all going to be doing a challenge, so that we can actually put what we're learning into action. Okay?
Right.
So
Right.
make sure that stick around so you can hear the details of that, because we're going to start this challenge on Monday.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
All right. So intermittent fasting, as you said, but basically it's fasting in intervals. What are the most popular? Because I want to make sure people understand what are the most popular time frames or intervals that people use for the intermittent fasting, and why? Let's start with the first one.
Yeah, well, I mean, the most popular one is the 16-8, and that seems to be the best, trade-off, so to speak, in terms of fasting, eating, etc.
Right.
But
wait a minute, let me interrupt, because it's not just fling terminologies around.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, he said 16-8.
Yes, okay.
And so
I'm
what does
sorry.
that mean?
Okay, that means fasting for 16 hours.
Right.
During the day and night of that 24-hour period. You're fasting 16 hours with an 8-hour eating window.
Okay.
So wherever you want to put that 8-hour eating window is fine, but just know that the other 24 hours you'll be fasting.
Okay, so we get to eat for 8 hours.
Yes.
And then for 16 hours, no food.
Right.
Doesn't
Right.
matter where we place
the 8 hours.
The 8 hours.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. You have the flexibility. Put that 8 hours wherever you want.
Right.
But you have to abstain from food for 16 hours.
Yes.
I hope that makes sense, right?
Right.
Ade says intermittent. He said intermittent fasting sounds sexy.
Not intimate fasting.
She said
no,
intermittent.
We're not fasting from intimacy.
It's not intimate fasting.
Intermittent. Maybe
we said
it might be my southern pronunciation or her New York pronunciation. It's intermittent.
Maybe I said intimate.
Yeah, I mean, phonetically sound it out. Intermittent.
Maybe I said
not.
Maybe she's
not intimate.
Right. Okay, intermittent fasting.
Yes.
And thank you, Ade. We don't want to turn this into something else.
Yeah. And you can drink during the fasting period. No, this is not a total fast from liquids or food. It's just a fast from food, solid food, and any type of caloric drink. Sodas, juices, alcohol, anything like that.
Right. So, thanks Gene.
Doc.
Thanks, Dr. Gene. I hope you're going to join us with the challenge, though. We'll tell you more about it.
Yes.
Okay, so Pat, I hope that answers your question. Yes, you can drink during the 16 hours. And,
yes.
And Ade, we're doing, yes, it's right. It's intermittent, not
the sexy intermittent fast. But so 16-8 is one. But you can, fasting actually, the intermittent fasting actually goes from anywhere from 12 hours up to the full day. Right. So, I mean, if like for people, and it's designed for it to really be practical and easy for people to do. So if you got to start from the 12 hours, so be it, and then build yourself up. You can do it that way, or you can go straight to the 16 or higher. So
I don't know if that's a question, Pat. Do you have to drink water only?
No, you can.
We're not making those restrictions.
No, you can drink tea as long as it's unsweetened. You can drink coffee, black coffee, tea. With the coffee, I just recommend it be organic. That's my recommendation with the coffee, because non-organic coffee is high in pesticides. They grow conventional coffee with a lot of beans with a lot of pesticides. So buy organic coffee, and it's good anyway. Even if you're not fasting, try to buy organic and leave the regular hot pesticides alone.
Oh man, that's Michael's little jab at coffee.
Yeah.
Okay, and Ade, guilty as charged. All right. So then the next one, so we can do either at 16, 8 hours. That's what
Yes.
we're going to do in our
Yes.
challenge, by the way.
Right.
So what's the other, if for those people who want to go?
Yeah, as long as it's a
longer.
24-hour period, you can go 18 hours eating, fasting, 16 hours eating, which makes up 24, or you can go 20 hours fasting and 4 hours eating. You know, as long as it's, you know, calculated in that 24-hour fashion.
So allow me to repeat the question.
Yes.
So the question is from Carolyn. She says,
Right.
you know, she wants to know during the time period that we're eating, can we eat whatever we want? Right. And so we're going to address
Yes.
that in a
Yeah, we
second.
are.
We're going to address that in a second,
Yes.
Carolyn, because that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to just throw anything out there.
Right.
All right. So the second, Michael, if people, so you can either fast for the 16 hours, or what's the next option that people do?
You can do 18. As I said, you can go all the way as low as 12 up to all the way the whole 24. So it's really, there's no exact science to this. Keep this in mind. There's no exact science. We're just talking about the best or optimum way to do it according to what your goal is.
Right.
And we'll talk about that in a second.
Right.
So that's ultimately what it boils down to. So you can go anywhere from 12 all the way up to 24, but 16 hours fasting, 8 eating, it seems to be the best and the most popular.
The most popular. And that's what we're going to do in our challenge. For
Yes.
those of you who feel like you want to go longer, you can, but we do ask that you do the 16 at least with us. Right?
Right.
Try not to do the 12. Try to go for the 16, because that's what we're
Yeah, if
going
you can.
for.
Yep.
If you want to go higher and go 18 hours,
Right.
that's fine. But we're going to go
Yes.
for the 16, okay?
Yes,
Just to make that clear. So basically what we're doing right now, we're talking about 5 things that you need to know when doing your intermittent fasting, right?
Mhm.
So that was number 1. Just know how to break it down and make sure that you are organized, that you plan ahead, that you pick a time that is practical for you. Don't pick something that's not practical for you,
Mm-hmm.
because then you won't do it, right?
Right.
So when you stay with that 16, 16 off, 16 off of eating 8 hours on.
Yeah, 16
choose
fasting
the time that is practical, right? That's number 1.
So, well, number 1 also is, just like anything, before you decide to do it, make sure you have a plan, an education and a plan. Understand what you're about to do and understand how you're going to do it. Kind of figure out what's the best way. So going in, beginning with a plan is definitely number 1.
So yes, Diane, planning is everything.
Yes.
Our day, we're going to get to the number of days in a second.
Mhm.
And Pat has a question. She wants to know, what is the best time frame for a diabetic person?
So that's the hairy area right there. Now, if you're diabetic, then you got to be really careful with fasting, because you get into that risk of that hypoglycemia risk. So if you're diabetic, I would first of all, I recommend just kind of speaking with your medical professional, or if you're doing any type of medications, I just recommend speaking with your medical professionals, because some medications require you to consume food. So just be careful in that respect, and also maybe start with the low range from 7 at night to 7 in the morning, where most of the fasting is during your sleeping or resting hours. And then, just see how you feel from there. Maybe if you can, inch it up from there. Maybe go up to 9, starting eating at 9 and going to doing from 9 to 9,
Right.
like that. Or 7 in the evening until 9, which adds a couple of hours. Yes.
So I think someone had a question earlier, like how long, right? How long do we fast? So that's our number 2 when we talk about the 5 things that you want to know about intermittent fasting. And you don't want to fast for long periods of time, right?
Right.
Because the body will go into an adaptation mode.
Yes.
So why don't we elaborate on that a little bit for them, so that they will understand the importance, because some people just fast for,
Yeah, so
30 days,
this is
60 days.
So it's all dependent, as I mentioned earlier, it's all dependent on your goal or your purpose in fasting. So if your purpose is spiritual, or strictly for health reasons, or breaking an addiction, et cetera, then the time, if it's longer and consistent, hypothetically, if it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then that's fine if it's for those goals.
For
However,
spiritual reasons.
yeah, for spiritual reasons,
Right.
or as I said, even for health reasons,
Right.
it's fine. However, if you're specifically talking about losing body fat, now that brings on a different, point or approach. So if you're trying to do it for fat loss reasons, now we got to be concerned about how it's going to affect the metabolism. And so since your body is an adaptation mechanism and constantly adapting to your habits, lifestyles, and what you're doing, now if we fast nonstop for an extended amount of time, meaning if we go over that 5 to 7 day period of nonstop fasting, our body will, our metabolism will begin to adapt and adjust to that eating pattern, and then it'll begin to slow and begin to become more of a conservative machine versus burning fat at that normal rate. So what we have to do, if we're going to approach this for fat loss purposes, after every 5 to 7 days, you want to break and do a normal style eating day. That means eat all day, start early, intentionally, 8, 9 o'clock, and just do an all day eating pattern. Now that doesn't mean you go pig out. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you just want to give your body a little shock, if you will, and start at do a different eating pattern. So your body becomes adaptive, efficient or proficient at adapting, and constantly adapting creates more calorie burn in a more consistent way. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yes.
It makes sense. It
Yes.
makes sense to me. Basically, what you're saying is,
Yes.
the time that you fast really depends on the type of fasting that you're doing.
Yeah, and the purpose and the goal.
And the purpose and the goal.
Yes.
And when my mind was going to, wow, I remember like back in Dick Gregory days, he used to fast forever.
Right.
But one of the things that you were saying is that regardless, even if you're going for weight loss,
Yes.
and only going like a week and then breaking, or whether you're going for health and spiritual purposes
Yeah.
for 30 days, no matter what, you should never go for an elongated period of time, because after that, your body will start to need nutrients regardless.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
going to be harmful regardless of what the purpose is.
Right, and let me elaborate on that too. Even if you're doing it for spiritual or health reasons, there gets to a point where you go into that 3 or 4 week period where now you're because a lot of times we get in this mode. Well, if this is good, more is
Do
better.
more of it.
So that's the case to a certain point, but then you get to a certain point where you get what's called diminishing return.
Right.
So you go to here, and now the more you do it, the less benefits you have. Right. So after that, 3, 4 week, and it depends on the individual. After that 3 or 4 week period, now you get into nutrient deprivation.
Right.
And now cell starvation.
Right.
So now you're going to begin to affect the cells negatively.
Right.
And your cells operate on vitamins, minerals, enzymes, cofactors, and all of these things that make the cell function and keep it healthy. So now we're getting into that process and interfering with that process, and we begin to now have a detrimental effect on our health at the cellular level.
So more is not always good.
Right.
Right? Like
Right.
you still have to do things in moderation, and you don't just because it's more, you just do it until the wheels fall off. That's not the case, right?
Exactly.
So Shay has a question. Shay's question is, well, what are the side effects of fasting, and how do we handle those side effects?
Side effects,
It really depends on the person.
Yeah, it really depends on the person, how you're asking the question. Okay, in terms of negative side effects, the only side effects that that you could experience, as I said, if you're doing those complete water fasts, where you're not consuming anything for days, then you can get that that release of stored toxins, because over the years, as we eat, our fat cells not only store the extra calories in terms of
toxins.
It stores toxins.
Right.
They serve as a protector for our system. Remember,
Right.
the bloodstream is your sacred fluid in the body,
Right.
because
Oh,
it
I like
flows
that. Sacred.
everywhere.
Say it again. Say it
It's
again.
your sacred fluid in the body, because it flows everywhere. It flows through your brain, your heart.
I like
So
that.
your body's main concern is keeping that blood as clean as possible, and it uses your fat cells as its protector to do that. So
Right.
any deleterious, dangerous toxins, it's going to remove and house them in the fat cells. So you
Right.
could have those long-term stored toxins in the body that
When
begin
it-
to be released,
When it releases.
and it could affect you and actually, make you feel sick or make you feel
Some
not
people
so
have
good.
set headaches. Some people
Yes,
feel nausea.
yes,
Some people
yes.
feel. But what we refer to it as, we call it a healing crisis,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Because people think, oh, this is making me sick.
Yes.
No, that's not what's making
Uh-huh.
you sick. It's
Yes.
the releasing of the toxins
Yes.
that the body was protecting you from, that
And-
your body is responding to,
Yep.
that is making you feel like you're sick.
Just a real quick supplement tip that can help with that is activated charcoal. It's very good
Yeah.
at absorbing toxins in the body and flushing them out. And activated charcoal is called. You can get it in capsule form. It's a great supplement to take in the evening. It's good anyway, but especially during fasting.
All right.
Dave's funny.
Dave's getting excited. She's getting excited.
Speaking her scientific
Yes,
language.
you got a scientist in the house.
Yes.
She's getting excited.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So let's move on. So we talked about. We're at number 3, which
Yes.
is going to get to Pat's question, I believe. I think someone asked a question. What can you eat? So number 3 thing that you want to know when you're doing your intermittent fasting
Okay.
is to make sure that the foods are nutrient rich.
I was trying
right?
to KJ to send her a link, but it's just too.
It's okay.
But anyway, so foods to include. So in fasting,
I sent her.
okay, but you still ideally, whether you're going for health reasons or weight loss reasons, you want to eat healthy, because it makes no sense to do a process that is going to help your body cleanse and regenerate and get healthy if you're going to put bad foods or toxins back into your system. So I would just say during a fast especially, try and keep the diet as healthy as possible, meaning eating healthy proteins with either organic meats or grass-fed beef, if you're going to eat beef, wild-caught fish, those type of meats. In terms of grains, eating non-processed grains, your wild rice, brown rice, organic oats, things like that, lentils, and all of the healthy, yams, and vegetables, of course, and ideally organic, or either wash them really well. So foods like that you want to include in your diet. Healthy fats are extremely important, and stay away from the unhealthy fats, because that's a big problem and what's making us unhealthy now. The trans fats, the corn oils, the soy-based oils, the seed oils, which people think are healthy but are not. When you see sunflower, safflower, soy, corn, vegetables, canola,
Yeah.
avoid all of that stuff like the plague. It's really bad for your body, right?
Mike's been cracking down on that.
Yeah, they're what's called inflammatory oils, and those are the oils that actually build in your fat cells and create these long-term chronic conditions.
So can you mention those oils one more time? Oils to stay away from.
Canola, soy, sunflower, safflower, any type of seed oils,
Okay.
you know, basically. Anything that says vegetable oil, any type of oil like that. The oils you want to stick with are avocado, olive oil, of course, real olive oil and not the fake ones that they sell in a lot of stores, coconut oil, and also acceptable are ghee, which is which is called clarified butter. It's actually healthy for you, and
Did you say coconut?
I said coconut.
Okay.
I was trying to think of
Okay,
any
but that's good
one that
enough. I mean,
may have
they
missed.
have that.
But those are the main oils you wanna stick with and cook with. Or
Okay.
actually olive oil, you wanna actually use that as a condiment instead of cooking.
Okay. So
Yes.
let's finish up those last two.
Yeah, grapeseed oil is not good, Patricia. She said grapeseed. Yeah,
Oh,
grapeseed oil.
Grapeseed oil, not
Grapeseed,
good.
rapeseed, and all of those oils are not good.
Not good.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Got that, Patricia?
Yes.
Not good. All right. Okay. So then number 4, you definitely during our fast we want to stay hydrated, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Very important. Hydration is very important, and not just drinking any kind of water. You want to make sure you drink as much mineralized water as possible, because there is water essentially that is void of nutrients or dead water, and that's the water that has been cleansed through reverse osmosis process. Not only does it strips the bad stuff away, but strips the good alkaline minerals out of the water that are naturally present in water, which makes it less useful and even slightly acidic for the body. So we want to make sure we get either mineralized water, or you can buy either mineral drops, or there's powders, what's called mineral powder, that you can buy from the store, a health food store, Amazon. You can order it, and it's or an electrolyte powder is what they call it. Look for electrolyte powder or electrolyte drops, and that simply, turns your water alkaline.
And hopefully nobody's drinking tap water at this point.
Exactly. Stay away from tap water.
Okay.
Or you can squeeze a little lemon,
Yes.
or some key lime,
Yes.
and make your own alkaline water.
That's right.
Lemon or key lime is very
Right.
alkalizing too. So
That's a good
all of
idea.
those are tips in making your water better. But drink mineral water.
Only.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
All right. Last.
No, not
Well,
I say
you know
only,
what I
as
mean.
much as
During our
possible.
fast.
Yes, as much as possible. It helps
All
you
right.
hydrate better.
Okay, so last one, control your portion sizes during
Yes.
this eating period. So basically what you're saying is when we are eating, we don't just want to like stuff ourselves.
Yeah,
right? Right?
yeah. So even though we have a window, we want to make it count. We want to make sure that during that window, we eat nutrient-rich food, because remember I said the health starts at the cellular level, right? So if we eat nutrient-rich food, or when you eat nutrient-rich foods, it actually feeds the cells so that you become less hungry. If the cells are not getting nutrients and they're being starved for vitamins and minerals, they send out a signal to your body to consume more. So you get hungry more often when you eat less nutrient-rich food. So number one, make sure it's nutrient-rich food, and still maintain your portion size. If weight loss is not really your interest or concern, then eat a little more of the healthy stuff and a little more healthy fats, so that you still get the health benefits, but you don't lose weight.
But you know what you just said was really, I just want to repeat it again in case
Yes.
it was missed. So you're saying like people who are eating, and hopefully, guys, I'm just saying this to make my point. Hopefully nobody on our platform is doing this, but if you're eating fast food, right, which is really dead food,
Yes.
but
Yes.
but high in calories.
Yes.
Because of that, when you eat foods like that, that's an exaggerated point. You're going to continue to want more and more and more and more and more, because your body is not really getting nutrients on a cellular level.
Yeah.
So you're constantly hungry.
Yeah.
Even though you're eating, you're constantly hungry because the foods are not rich in nutrients.
Exactly.
That is really important. I don't want nobody to miss that.
It's empty calories.
Yeah.
And you introduce a lot of anti-nutrients to your body, meaning foods that actually pull nutrients from your body, pull your stored nutrients from your body. So you're introducing a lot of that to your body too. So try to eat healthy because you want all the benefits. If you're going to make the sacrifice to do this, you want the benefits, right? Yeah, sure.
No, that's big. I love when you get those nuggets. Like that was a nugget.
Yeah.
That was a nugget.
That's
Okay,
right.
so we talked about now. It's not just tell. This is show and tell.
Right.
So we're gonna put everything that we learned today into action.
Yes.
Right. And how are we gonna do that? We are going to do a challenge. We're gonna do an intermittent fasting challenge.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
It's going to start on Monday, October 3rd, I believe that is some hard dates, but I know that it's coming up this Monday. It's going to be our first day. All right. The purpose of this is going to be for weight loss. However, you're going to still get health benefits as well. What else? So what we'll do, and it's optional, you don't have to, but I think I'm going to do this. I don't normally do this, but I think you can weigh in. Let's weigh in on your own. You don't have to share your weight with us. This is just for you. Some people I know will share, but you don't have to. But just weigh in on day one, okay, so that we can see, the progress.
Yes.
And then we're going to do this fast a day for 11 days, right? 11 days we're going to do our challenge. 11 days. But what we're going to do, because we're going to apply what Mike was talking about.
Yes.
On day 7.
No, day 6.
Day 6.
Yes.
Day 6. This is very important. We're going to guide everybody through this. But day 6, we're going to stop the fast.
We're going to break.
We're going to break the fast. And we're going to eat normal on day 6.
Right. Meaning start eating earlier that day.
Yeah.
But still, we're going to maintain a healthy.
But everything's still healthy.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you how we're going to make sure that happens too. But anyway, so day 6, we're going to break the fast. We're going to eat healthy. Eat all day.
Yes.
Like you normally would. And then day 7, we're going to kick it back in again. For another
5 days.
5 days. Okay? And so what that's going to do is that's going to apply the principles that Mike was talking about.
Yes.
To keep your body in that mode.
Right, and at being proficient at adapting and using different energy sources as well. So when I say that, from being able to switch from carbohydrate burning to fat burning, right, and keep that flexibility in your metabolism going. And because we are focused on helping everybody get healthy, as well as those who are interested in weight loss, we're going to give you a sample of how that would work, how it looks, how it feels. So all in all, we're going to go 11 days.
Yep.
Meaning we're going to go 5 days on, 1 day off, and then 5 days on.
Yep.
That's how it's going to work. That's how it's going to look.
Yep. Okay. And then again, we always tell you this is not just tell. This is show and tell.
Right.
So your responsibility will be every day. Every day we're all checking in, guys. Everybody's checking in. It's going to help you. It's going to help It's going to be accountability for you.
Yes.
Accountability for everybody. This is a group and a team effort. We get so much better results when we do this as a group and as a team. Okay, so every day you're going to post what meal that you broke your fast with, and then we'll ask you to also post another meal throughout the day. Just kind of keep it, stay in touch.
Yeah, stay active.
Stay active. Be accountable.
Yeah, because group support is always helpful and encouraging as you're going through anything. It's the energy and just the examples that other people constantly give.
We're gonna need
as
to,
you're
posting. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll post.
All right.
Also about the group.
Right.
Yes.
So just so that you're clear, this is all taking place in our private group. Right now, we're on our Rhythm Rumble workout page. but
Yes.
our actual challenge, our daily challenge, is going to take place inside our private group, Fitness and Fat Loss Secrets Revealed.
We'll post the link.
We'll post the
in the
link
comments.
in the comments. Mike is going to post a link in the comments. If you are not already in that group, then you want to make sure that you get in that group. Okay, so that that part is important.
Yes.
All right. And so again, that's everything. It starts this Monday. We're kicking off. You know how we do. We go. And I love when we do these challenges because everybody's so active. Everybody's so involved.
Yep.
And we learn so much from each other. Okay. So that's what we're gonna do. Again, it starts this Monday. A few products real quick that can help you, support you during this challenge. We just want to get that, and then we can let you guys go. So, which products do you want to help that you think would support them in this? I think definitely our 5-HTP.
Yes.
That's your go-to. For those people who are not familiar with, oh, look who's here, it's KJ.
All right.
For those people who are not familiar with the 5-HTP, just tell them really quick, Mike, what that is and why that is going to help them with the fast.
So I think this is probably, let me see, it's probably backwards. But anyway, this product, if it's backwards, it's 5-HTP. So this is a product that's an amino acid derived from tryptophan. And it's a natural product, but it's great at helping control appetite, sugar cravings, and even mood enhancer. So it's got many other benefits, but those are the three, and as well as metabolism boosting. So it's got a number of benefits that can help you if you're a person that has any type of sugar addiction, or you may be addicted to carbohydrates, which ultimately is sugar, and you may need something that helps you, or even during the fasting, this actually helps you to suppress the appetite as well. So this is a very good product for anyone that's that
we'll
needs
post
it.
the link.
And we'll post the link to it
how to get to it
as well. And the second product.
So KJ's gonna order hers ASAP.
Yep.
We're gonna link.
Yep.
We're gonna get you the link real quick.
Yeah, we'll get the link. And the second one, really quick, is a product called 7 Keto Fit. This is another natural product, and it's a form of DHEA, which is a precursor for serotonin and melatonin. So this is a metabolism booster, as well as, of course, a mood enhancer also. But but boosting your metabolism and speeding up that process actually leads to faster weight loss, faster fat burning. So these two products are very good product to combine with your fasting or just working out in general. Oh man, I got this Ring camera going on.
I'm laughing at Ade.
So I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll get that. But yeah, and we'll put the link to those two products.
Ade, I'm just laughing at you. There's a delay in our feed, so I'm just seeing your comment. That's why I'm laughing like this. Ade says, "Talk nerdy to me." Love you, Warriors.
I love it. I love it.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's everything, guys. We're going to reorder. We're going to order our products.
Yes.
Michael, can you put
I'll put the link in there. I posted the link to the group. So definitely join the group.
Yes. And if you're going to be involved in this challenge, you have to be in our group. Okay.
And join us on the fast challenge.
Yes. So Mike posted the link. Again, Mike posted the link in the group. If you're not in the group already, go do that right now. If you don't have your products yet, do that right now. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate.
I'm gonna
because
post the link
before you
right
know
now.
it, Monday is going to be here. We still have to get the products to you if you're going to be using the products, right? So you don't want to wait and do it now. Do it now. The time is now. Okay. So you're going to get the 5-HTP. Mike's going to post the link, or the 7 Keto Fit. He's going to post that right now. And let's do this, family. Let's commit. So if you are in for the challenge, say I'm in. Okay? So Ade says she is in it to win it. Yes! I tell you, always
win it.
She always wins.
That's right. That's right.
No matter what.
That's right.
All you do
All we do is win. No matter what.
All right. Okay,
Right.
so that's it. Let's do it.
All
We
right.
know what to do. We got
All right.
our marching orders.
That's right. All right, warriors.
I'm
right?
excited.
We got Warrior King,
Yes, I wish I had
and the
mine.
Warrior
I wish I
Queens.
had Warrior King.
Right?
All right,
So-
let's do it.
so let's
Capri
do it.
says she's in.
We thank you for joining us today, and hope that you enjoyed the discussion. Thank you, Diane.
Yes,
and
bye,
we got to
Diane.
cut out now, and but we'll follow up and join the group. We'll be kicking off things Monday,
All
and we'll talk to you then.